All persons of simple qualities, all persons of simple qualities, all persons of simple qualities, all persons of Shishiguru and Shiguru, all persons of Prabhu. So today we'll be reading from the fourth canto, chapter 14, and the last text of this chapter, text 46. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Sakyam Naranjavadarotanam Devim Sarasaktam Vyasam Tathorjaya Prakate Shundatam Sutta Krishna Punya Kirtana Iti Kanda Shutoti Kabhavarami Vidhanati Shri Satam Nastra Prayeshu Vishnu Nitya Shriya Bhagavati Kumashti Bhakti Bhakti Tasya Amsyastu Naishata Tasya Amsyastu Naishata Tasya Amsyastu Naishata Vivekana Rocharaha Vivekana Rocharaha Vivekana Rocharaha Yena Harachyaya Mano Yena Harachyaya Mano Yena Harachyaya Mano Vena Kamashambohanam Vena Kamashambohanam Vena Kamashambohanam Tasyavam Vamsyastu Naishata Giri Anana Gocharaha Yena Harajjaya Mano Vena Pashanam Tasyavam Vamsyastu Naishata Giri Anana Gocharaha Yena Harajjaya Mano Vena Pashanam Tasyavam Vamsyastu Naishata Giri Anana Vena Harajjaya Vena Pashanam Tasyavam Vamsyastu Naishata Giri Anana Gocharaha Yena Harajjaya Mano Vena Pashanam
Tasyavam Vamsyastu Naishata
Giri Anana Gocharaha Yena Harajjaya Mano Vena Pashanam. Let's do the word for word. Tasya his Naishatas. Vamsyaha descendants. To them. Naishata old Naishatas. Giri Kanana the hills and forests. Gocharaha inhabiting. Yena because. Aharat he took upon himself. Jayana being born. Vena of King Vena. Kalmasam all kinds of sin. Ubhanam very faithful. Translation of Prabhu, praise the Prime Verse, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. After his, Naishada's birth, he immediately took charge of all the resultant actions from Vena's sinful activities. As such, this Naishada class are always engaged in sinful activities like stealing, plundering, and hunting. Consequently, they are only allowed to live in the hills and forests. To repeat after me. After his, Naishada's birth, he immediately took charge of all the resultant actions of King Vena's sinful activities. As such, the Naishada class are always engaged in sinful activities like stealing, plundering, and hunting. Consequently, they are only allowed to live in the hills and forests. The Naishadas are not allowed to live in cities and towns because they are sinful by nature. As such, their bodies are very ugly and their occupations are also sinful. We should, however, know that even these sinful men, who are sometimes called kiratas, can be delivered from a sinful condition. The topmost lifestyle platform at the mercy of the pure devotee. Engagement in the transcendental loving virtual service of the Lord can make anyone, however simple they may be, fit to return home back to God. One has only to become free from all contamination by the process of virtual service. In this way, everyone can become fit to return home back to God. This is confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 32. Namhi Pata Yaprasya Yeshu Namaha Yonayaka Stridoro Vaishyash Vaishadras Eyapi Namaha. O son of Rika, those who take shelter of me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, wretches, as well as Sudras, wickeds, they can approach the supreme destination. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the fourth canto, 14th chapter, titled The Story of King Nimai. Before I begin, I'd like to offer my humble messages to my parents, who without their shelter and guidance throughout my life, when I've taken shelter of my spiritual master. Omakyam Tiranasya Gyananda Nasha Vedam Maharaj Chaitanya Novisam Sapatanyam Swayam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Guru Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Makam Shraddhatam Shraddhatam Shrivam Sadvekam Sadvekam Arjuna Vekam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Sakramana Shri Vishaka Vikramsya Ye Krishna Sindhu Vimanam Jagate Krishna Vikramsya Adakam Namaste Tapakanchana Gaurami Radha Mahameshwari Vishakam Sudhate Kamamami Adipre Vanchakalpa Durgasya Vikasim Vedasya Vinamha Vidya Vaishnavi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Guru Nityananda Shri Advaita Shiva Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. So, I'll introduce myself to those in the community that do not know me. I'm Nimai Sundar with us, disciple of His Divine Grace Bhakti Govinda Swami. I've been in New Zealand for the past 6 years now, and over the years that I've been asked to give class, I've always reluctantly, I've always said no, just not qualified. Most recently, I've been encouraged to give class, and I have no pre-qualities, and I may say, may have been incorrect, so please correct me and make that slip up. So don't make it the end. You're my seniors, and thus I take instruction from you. Yeah. But in the Divine Chaitanya says that the spiritual master and of course the senior devotees instruct the juniors by line to speak, and they correct them very often. So please correct me and not make any mistakes. Of course, the glories of the Krishna Bhagavatam, the countless glories of the class dedicated to the distant glories of Krishna Bhagavatam. I'd like to start with you. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are mainly material motivated, this part of the Purana becomes the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who believe in their heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion and the welfare of all. Such truth proves the threefold movements. This beautiful Bhagavatam compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva is sufficient in itself to provide realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of the Bhagavatam, by this ultimate knowledge of the Supreme, by this knowledge of the Supreme Lord, is established within his heart. But experts or men relish in the Bhagavatam, the mature fruit, desire tree of creative virtues. It emanated from the lips of Sundar Swami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectar juice is already perishable for all, including the souls. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it is arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge. Persons who have lost their religion due to the dense dark of ignorance in the age of Kali And then finally, from Bhagavad Gita, the thoughts of my devotees, what they mean, their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction from always working with this authority. What attempts to do such. So the story of King Vena truly begins from chapter 13, and before that, the Duras instructed Maitreya on the history and the lineage of Guru Maharaj. Canto 4, chapter 13, text 21, Maitreya asked Vidura about King. Maitreya gives a brief summary on King Vena, and Vidura naturally inquires that King Anga was very gentle and had a high character, and his love of culture, he said the Vaishnavas, he said the Brahmanas, established in his kingdom. How is it that such a great soul received a son like King Vena? King Vena was merciless, and he did not establish listen to the Brahmanas. And what did he do? That he received Brahma Sapa, the curse of the Brahma. This curse was removed him from the body. Maitreya begins with King Anga performing the Ashwamedha sacrifice, but the demigods do not descend. So during the Ashwamedha sacrifice, it's generally a statement by the king that to the whole world that I declare that I am the emperor of this entire world, and a white horse will be sent out throughout the world, and accompanying the this white horse was the king's warriors, the Kshatriyas, and the Kshatriyas. And this horse would enter the different kingdoms of different kings, and during that time, the king had the opportunity to capture the horse, and the warriors that accompanied the horse on behalf of the king would then protect the horse, and thus a battle would ensue. So anyone who disputed the authority of the reign of this king, the emperor, who made a statement, they had this opportunity to show their disobedience, and if the horse was killed, that sacrifice would have to be completed. Again, so the sacrifice would not be complete, and the king would again establish another sacrifice and another horse, and thus we had many opportunities to get from Srimad Bhagavatam and Prithu Maharaj. We also established multiple Ashwamedha sacrifices and to establish their rule over the whole world. So during this time, so after 1 year, the horse we got back to the Emperor's kingdom to be sacrificed, and it was a really expensive ritual. Thousands of cows would have to be given in charity to the Brahmanas. Of course, the rations for the Kshatriya warriors, which numbered hundreds of thousands, would have to be catered for. It was a very expensive exercise, and thus only one was fit to be the emperor, who had the wealth, who had the necessary advisors, who had the strength to partake in this sacrifice. So once the horse will be returned, then the horse will be sacrificed, and generally during this procedure, the purest of paraphernalia objects were used. Brothers would utter the correct things, meter. And when the horse was sacrificed, that same horse's soul would be given a new, renewed horse's body. So the horse would be killed in sacrifice, but the soul of that horse would be transferred to a completely new horse. So it's not a horse that's existed before, not that it was a horse that was just born, it was actually manifested from the sacrifice, completely new horse. And then the demigods would appear to give their blessings. Now in this case, King Anga, the demigods did not appear, and thus King Anga was morose, and he was then he consulted the Brahmanas. He asked them, what did I do that the Brahmanas did not, sorry, the demigods did not come to give their blessings? And the Brahmanas responded saying that in your life you will not see any sinful activities that you have committed, not even within your mind. But perhaps in your previous life there were some sinful activities that you do not have a son, currently do not have a son. So our recommendation is that you perform all paraphernalia that's been sent to the made sacrifice be used for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality to beg him for his son. And the Brahma said, we frequently you and we would like to offer you this boon, we would like to offer you this service to give you a son. Because generally the king and the emperor would be incomplete without an heir to the throne. So the paraphernalia offerings were used for pleasure of the Supreme Lord. And during that time, as soon as the oblations were offered, immediately the Supreme Personality of God appeared in a form with a carried a sweet rice, which is called Ayashana. That's correct. Yeah, Ayashana, sweet rice in a cold pot. And he offered it to King Anga. King Anga and he accepted the sweet rice and then offered it to his wife Sunita. And then soon thereafter, Sunita gave birth to a son, young Vena. But while Vena was growing up, he was merciless, he was not kind, he would go into the forest and just mercilessly kill all the animals, the young deer, possums, potatoes, and just leave them there so that he would grow up the hunter. And when he was playing with his friends, well, his so-called friends who was playing with young boys of the kingdom, he would enact battles and he would kill the young kids. And he would just kill them as if a young animal was brought to slaughter. So it's very merciless. But his father tried to rebuke him and reprimand him and bring him to the right path, but he was just very stubborn and did not listen. The king was very agitated, he was very upset, and during this time he was meditating and thinking that those that do not have a son are very fortunate, because those that have a son and a son is a bad character get much headache, much unhappiness by having a bad son. And then he thought, oh, maybe it's actually better to have a bad son, because a bad son would allow a push one to renounce all of life, whereas having a good son would create a nice atmosphere for home and would entangle one or would encourage one to stay at home, not just renounce. Because we understand from the Vedic culture, the kings would, at a certain stage in life, they would give up the kingdom and the son would take over, and then they would enter the forest. But some kings had to be pushed by Dhritarashtra, that he was encouraged by his brother to leave. He'd been maintained by the Pandavas, now it's time to go. Enjoyed enough, it's time to go. He was pushed and encouraged to go. But King Anga, thus knowing the financial God, he knew that this was perhaps a good opportunity. Even though his son was pretty young and not of age to take the throne, he was really disturbed by his son's behavior and his reluctance to change. And just in the dead of night, he just left his wife, his young son, and the kingdom and his citizens who brought him. And he entered the forest. But he entered the forest not because he was partly because he was tired of the situation, but also he wanted to please the Lord by austerity, as was the practice during that age. And Prabhu mentions in the book of one of the verses there that the devotees of the Lord we can understand why that King Unga be cursed to have Veda as his son. But the Lord says that materialist karmis can approach me and I give them without thinking. I give them what they desire. But the devotees will give them what they desire, but only if it assists them in their devotional service. If it pushes them to take up the devotional service more. So, as in the case of Dhruva Maharaj had no other desire than to serve the Lord. And then he gave up into a life. King Anga, though he was also of the same character, the Lord created a situation to encourage him to leave his kingdom for us in Sundar to perform austerities for the pleasure of the Lord. As we know that during the devotees, we're instructed to serve the Lord without any other material motives. But at the same time, who else would we approach? That's the other side. Who else would we approach for our material motives? Of course, Prabhupada many times in his purport mentions, in his purports and talks, he mentions that the elephants are eating without any issues. They provided their daily sustenance. So why should we pray for, my Lord, please give me my daily bread? Of course, that is there, and the Lord is providing. And the flip side that we should appreciate it. So the Lord knows what's needed for our daily sustenance and for our spiritual benefit. And at the same time, we've got to reach out to the Lord in times of distress. Look at Draupadi, when she was being derobed, she did not just keep quiet. She actually prayed out to the Lord, so they could say, well, the Lord knew what was required, why did she have to pray out? So we have to actually extend our hand, we've got to pray to the Lord for that mercy. Otherwise, it may not come. We can go continue on without praying for anything particularly. But then that may not come. So, for example, Draupadi being derobed, she prayed to the Lord, and the Lord saved her from that situation. And then chapter 14. So when I grew up, he was merciless. Did many atrocities. And after King Anga left, there was a void. There was a vacuum created by King Anga's departure, untimely departure. And the sages and Brahmins, they assembled and requested Sunita to put Vena as the ruler of the kingdom. Even though they knew that he was a bad character, they thought that perhaps by our advice and our guidance, he would become a good ruler. But as soon as he accepted the throne, all the robes and deeds, knowing that Vena was merciless, he would pass harsh judgment on them when caught. They left, and when he ascended the throne, and then instructed all the citizens and Brahmins to stop all sacrifice, to stop all worship of the Supreme Lord. And after some time, the sages again assembled and thought, what should we do? It is our duty to instruct the king, it's our duty to perform sacrifice, and it's our duty to establish Varnashram so that all the citizens of the kingdom can have an opportunity to serve the Supreme Personality of God. They assembled and he said, we've got to instruct the king. If he does not listen, then we have no other choice than kill him. Their motives weren't such that they wanted to kill King Vena and accept his position, accept his throne. They did it only out of their duty, out of their duty for the citizens of the kingdom. Of course, they also felt obliged since they enthroned him, enthroned Vena on the throne, and out of fear of being implicated in his sinful activities by enthroning the king, they thought they had to do something. So then they approached King Vena and pacified him with kind words. He mentioned that by following the regulated principles, all the citizens be elevated to the heavenly kingdom of the Lord. Not just the heavenly planets, but they mentioned the heavenly kingdom. So that's like the planets. And would rid themselves of unhappiness and material life. He mentioned that it's the duty of the king to establish financial ground and to establish the worship of the Supreme Personality of God. The King Vena's response was that they were inexperienced and were overcome with ignorance, and that do they not know that the king is the Supreme Personality of God? He should be worshipped as the Supreme Lord. He's the maintainer of the citizens, and he established himself as the Supreme Lord. The sages became very angry with King Vena at this blasphemy of the Supreme Lord, not only of the citizens, but also the Supreme Lord. As mentioned that at the blasphemy of devotees, and the devotees of the Lord and of the Supreme Lord, that one should kill the person, cut his tongue, or leave the place. And this, the Brahmanas, they killed him by uttering a curse. Brahma cursed him and he died. When he died immediately, his mother Sundar, out of compassion and love for her son, kept his body and preserved it with some mantras, herbs, oils, and we see that this is common practice of kings. We have some monks that would put themselves into, or prepare themselves to leave their body, and after leaving their body, their skin would be preserved, their body would be preserved without even actual ointments. They just fast, take different substances, look after their body, and after death, their body would be preserved. So Sunita did the same thing to King Vena's body. And thus another vacuum was created by the untimely departure of King Vena. So we have King Anga, King Anga's departure, and King Vena's departure, and the vacuum was created that rogues and thieves entered the kingdom again and started to create some turmoil. I've been under fear that citizens were unregulated, they did not have guidance from a just ruler. They thought that they had to do something. And so this was just 3 verses ago. Then they, by some process which is not known to us in this day of age, and suddenly this Brahma started the curse of Brahma to kill him. Brahmanas nowadays do not have the potency to utter such curse. And furthermore, it said that any Brahmanas in this day of age, the curse that they lose some shakti. So it is not advised that Brahmanas curse in this day of age, because after cursing, then they lose some shakti. And the more you curse, the more shakti you lose. Pretty much scripture reference to that, but so, yep, this day and age is Brahmanas cannot do such things, so it may seem like fiction, but actually true in all these examples. So the Brahmanas decided that since the lineage of Sri Maharaj and Anga was a great lineage, that they should not stop the lineage. They thought that they would utilize King Vena's body, which had the nutrients and minerals and all the stuff the items to create another body. They use his body to create another body by churning, by rubbing, by mantra. They created a situation for another soul to enter this body. So similar to the Ashwamedha sacrifice, where a horse was sacrificed and a new horse body would be produced, and the soul of the old horse would be transferred to this new horse's body. They created a situation where that horse's soul could be transferred without much pain and difficulty. And in Guru Prabhu's book, The Gurus Master, and one of the chapters entitled Worms and Maya, he asked Sri Prabhupada a question in regards to worms. So if the worm is cut in half, both parts of the worm continues to live. Right? So we think one worm, there's a soul there, it's one situation, one body. But when the body is cut in half, both of them continue to live and could reproduce. Right? So that's quite mind-boggling. What is the answer to this? Well, it's just progress on the answer, but a second spirit soul enters one of those halves. So thus the situation was created for the soul to enter, and thus the soul entered. And another point from this is that we could think, okay, why did they use King Banner's body, which was preserved, to create another situation for another soul to enter? His body was the resultant of the sacrifice, and the result of the sacrifice worshipped of the Supreme Lord. His mother accepted it by her son's sweet rice, and thus she had the potency to produce a son. So his birth was not just an ordinary birth, even though he did not have proper qualities. His birth, his material body, was infused with the mercy of the Lord. Furthermore, he became the lineage of Guru Maharaj. Thus, his DNA, his body, was in a line with the great lineage. So therefore, to continue on the lineage, to utilize the same substances, the same DNA to produce another body. It's quite, think about it, it's not like, why didn't they just get another king? Because they wanted to continue on the lineage, they did not want to stop the lineage of Guru Maharaj. We know from pastime of Guru Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj that the Lord, I think it was in Prahlad Maharaj's pastimes, that he said that when Prahlad Maharaj asked the Lord to please forgive his father, and the Lord replied that not only your father, but all your generation following you would not be killed by me. They would be devoted to himself. So in that way, the Lord, because King Banner King Banner's body followed the line of Dhruva Maharaj, and thus to continue on with its lineage, they allowed him to they produced another form, another body, so that Bhuka could enter. So one thing to note is that the soul of Banner, the merciless King Banner, and by that time already accepted another body, and he could not be brought back. Not that they wanted, because of his bad nature, but he already accepted another body, so he could not be revived, he could not be brought up from the dead, but they produced another situation for a new soul, or another soul to enter. So Bahuka was produced, and that's the verse where we're at, where Bahuka, he took charge of all the sinful activities, the result of the sinful activities of King Banner, and thus the Nishadi class always engaged in sinful activities, stealing and plundering and hunting. So there are a few lessons that I highlighted from this past time. first one is the importance of listening to the advice of everyone else. You can see that Pinganga served the Brahmanas, served the sages. And by their love, they wanted to give him a son, but his son was exactly the opposite. He didn't listen to the advice of the Brahmanas, he didn't serve the Brahmanas, he didn't serve the Supreme Lord. And the result was his death. And then the importance of Varnashram to gradually allow the citizens and general public to engage in service of the Supreme Lord. And the other one is the dangers of claiming to be God and how one contests one who claims to be the Supreme Personality of God. The famous example is Arjuna requesting Krishna to allow me to be holy public. And then the Lord replied, you cannot see me with your present eyes, so therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence, and he manifests this cosmic universal form, and that's the test that we can bring forth to anyone who claims to be God. Because Prabhupada has used many times for the mind bodies that claim to be God. So I asked him to show you the cosmic manifestation. And furthermore, we can see King Brahma said he was a supreme personality of God. But Brahma's immediately killed him. So how can he be the Supreme Lord? Shishpal in the same situation, claiming to be the Supreme Lord. His head is covered by the Supreme Chakra. So even to this day, there are some personalities, even some so much as that take up some practices to Skodia Vaishnavas. They claim to be the incarnation of Jesus, Muhammad, and Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya. So even modern day famous on YouTube personalities. Yeah, it's surprising. But only when we look deeper do we find that it's outwardly they take interest in the functions, they sing the same mantras, songs, worship the Lord, but then they worship the spiritual master as Bhagavan. So that's unfortunate. But here's the test. Show me your cosmic. And then from the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that this Nashada class, even though they're sinful and they can be delivered by the association of the darkness Vaishnava. It can be elevated to the darkness position of Vaishnava by association. An example is Agrari. And I believe Sundar is also part of the Nashada class where he lives in the forest in Santa. So here Prabhupada mentions that the activities of hungry, stealing, and hunting, and living in the forest. Sundar and Sundar is hunter, living in the forest, and is mostly killing animals in the forest and killing them, but not killing, he was wounding them. And then must have been pain, died after a couple of days of infection pain. It's like a merciless way of killing because it produces extended pain unnecessarily. There are many into the forest and saw this giving compassion to the animals. He came across the Rari, instructing him to not kill in that way, but to kill them immediately, just one shot and kill. So that sin of causing extended harm and extended pain would be reduced. And they also instructed them to chant what Brahma was there. But he said, I'm not qualified to chant all those things, so this is something else. Very really instructed to chant Mara and repeatedly chant Mara. By chanting Mara, he's chanting Rama indirectly by thus the association of Narayana influenced by uttering the God's name, he started developing good qualities, and he gave up his nurse's training. Of course, Narayana, I think might stick to these steps there, but Narayana also instructed him to just chant and all the items for your material sustenance will be taken care of. And the villagers would come in up ahead some grains and some fruits and roots, and thus he maintained his body and soul while uttering the name for growth. And then the second prophet quotes the famous verse from Srimad Gita that anyone be there for the birth from the Vaishyas, Sudras, can approach the supreme destination, can approach the supreme Lord. And there's another famous verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which mentions the Kiratas. Kiratas are also, this book mentions the Kiratas, and the Kiratas also, the Naishadha class of men, also known as Kiratas. And thus, one verse with translation: Kirata, Kuna, Anhara, Linda, Anuksha, Vira, Samba, Yavana, Emerson, Kasharesis, and even others addicted to single acts can be purified by taking shelter. Due to his being supreme power, I beg to offer my basis unto him. So, in similar vein, that only by the association of birdies can one begin the devotional practice. And why is that? Why the association of birdies? Bhagavad Gita. The verse the humble sages, the urge of true knowledge, see with evil vision, and sage, a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, and a dog eater, a dog and dog eater. So they see everyone with evil vision. So they do not judge the outward appearance, the outward past, the outward lineage of the human race. They give not only the human race, all beings, they glance, they mercy, they give charity to these personalities. How do we give charity? We give the child, we give Bhagavad, and they give oral conceptions. We get that. Sanatana Goswami would circumambulate the circumambulate Govardhan Hill, but all the residents of Govardhan would approach him for their material questions, because Sanatana Goswami he had practice as an individual, but this managerial position was very, very thoughtful and very intellectual. So it comes to him with agriculture and how to divide money up properly. So then, just our reception, and still listen to the problems and give some advice, and then continue on with his program. And of course, just try to learn the truth by approaching spirituals. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. So here, what Krishna is saying that we could approach a spiritual master. And thus, by serving them, they can impart the truth to us. And then similarly, when Lord Chaitanya is instructing Sanatana Goswami to write the Hari Bhakti Vilas, mentions that the root cause of devotional service is association with devotees. Bhagavad Gita chapter 22, text 83. The root cause of devotional service of Krishna's association with advanced devotees. Even when one's own love of Krishna awakens, association with devotees is most essential. Then when Lord Chaitanya is listing all the steps in devotional service to all the steps of regulated devotional service. So, by association with devotees, one becomes encouraged to take up the practice of devotional service. And then the first practice of devotional service is methodology. First one is one must accept the bona fide spiritual master. We must take initiation from him in a picture, and one must serve him. One must receive instructions from the spiritual master, make inquiries in order to learn the devotional service. One must follow the footsteps of the previous retirees and follow the directions given by the spiritual master. So here the first, actually all the first 5 instructions are: one must accept the spiritual master, take initiation, and then serve him. So that follows very nicely with the previous verse quoted from the Gita of Krishna mentioned that we've got to serve the spiritual master, and thus the path of that big instruction. Lord Chaitanya then continues on, and then he mentions the punishment of bhakti, Sarasanga, Nimai, Kirtan, Sravana, Surabhasakshi, one should associate with devotees to chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, reside at Mathura, and worship the deity with faith and devotion. So a nice example is given that although that honey is the property, sweetness, honey, is the property of the flower, it is inaccessible without accessing the honeycomb, the bees which receive the pollen and create honey. So similarly, it's not possible to attain bhakti directly from the Supreme Lord, but through these devotees. The devotees receive the mercy from the Supreme Lord and thus produce honey, which is Krishna Ketara, and thus they fit to the general populace, and thus they can associate with the Lord, experience the sweetness of the Lord by his devotees. And then finally, a nice point which is given by Narada to Yudhisthira Maharaj in the 7th canto, chapter 1, text 32. Somehow or other, one must consider the form of Krishna very seriously. Then, by one of the 5 different processes mentioned above the previous verse, one can return home back to Bhava. Atheists like Nimai, however, being unable to think of Krishna's form in any of these 5 ways, cannot attain salvation, mukti. Therefore, one must somehow think of Krishna, whether in a friendly way or in a way. The same point is quoted by Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that we should meditate on Lord in these 5 different ways. Prabhupada's translation of text 30 in the same canto chapter. My dear Lord, there are many devotees who first become attracted to the personality of God and purpose sense gratification, from being envious of him, out of fear of him, or from desiring to associate affectionately with him. Ultimately, these attractions become freed from all material contamination, and gradually the worship develops spiritual love and achieves the ultimate goal of life, designed by the pure devotee. There are six ways in which we meditate on the Lord. One out of enmity, out of envy, out of fear, out of devotion, out of affection, and out of a sense of relationship, or through intense passion. Sri Prabhu is an example given where he was always envious of the Lord. He always spoke of Krishna in a bad way. He was envious of Krishna's qualities, Krishna's fame, Krishna's wealth, and that was his meditation. And ultimately, he was killed by Krishna. Summarize again. And then suddenly Kamsa was also attracted to Krishna, but out of fear, he always meditated on Krishna. When Krishna from the time of the prophecy during his sister's wedding, Supreme Lord appeared in the sky and prophesied that Devaki, you are Kamsa, you are celebrating the wedding of Sister Devaki, but you do not know that eighth child will be the cause of your demise, be the cause of your death. And from that point, he was really fearful. Sent all the demons to bring out to try and kill Krishna. And then he established the situation to invite Krishna and Balaram to the wrestling match in the arena to test them and to try and kill Krishna before Krishna could kill him. Krishna immediately killed him as well. So out of fear, and then the devotees like Narada, the great devotees achieved the Lord by devotional practice, the bhakti practice. The descendants of Yadu, out of their family relationship with Krishna, they always think of Krishna as one of their members, as a family member. Krishna is my nephew. Right, when he was getting too confused. The Yadus.
Lots of Yadus.
Yeah, so the Yadus would think of Krishna as my nephew.
The elder, like the brothers of Vasudeva, they'd see Krishna as a genius.
So, as a nephew, as a cousin, as a uncle or father, so members of the Yadus think of Krishna in that way. Always think of Krishna. And the Pandavas, by their affection of the Lord, they always think of Krishna. Pandavas as well as their consorts, and the gopis are regarded in their tense fashion. So all these different kinds of personalities, they had this extreme attachment and distraction to Krishna in different categories, but they all achieve the same desire of mukti, liberation. But we know that there are different types of mukti. The mukti attained by Shishapala when the Supreme Personality kills any demons, the demons generally merge into his body, which is called Sarujamukti. There are other types of mukti. Swarja, Salokya, Swarupya, Samipya, and Shastra. Salokya means when one is liberated, you can enter into the body of the Lord, the Lord's growing followings, or enter into the body of the Lord. But there's advice that devotees to the Lord do not desire this liberation because it is personal liberation. It does not appreciate the Lord's personal teachers. There's some mukti remaining and associated with the Supreme Lord. So, living on the same planet, Supreme Lord, like 100 planets, just residing there, serving the Lord but not serving the Lord directly. Instantly in the like 100 planets, the Surupya Bhakti attaining the same form of the Lord beforehand, form. Exactly like the Lord. Many times the people that those residents of Vaikuntha appear to be externally appear to have the same form of the Lord, and that's the kind of bhakti. And Shashtra Bhakti attaining the same opulences of the Supreme Lord. And Lord Chaitanya mentions in the Chaitanya that the devotees of the Lord may at times accept these Salokya, Surupya, Samipya, Shashtra Bhakti, but only if it's in service to the Lord. Never for their own desires, never for their own want. They do not desire to attain this mukti because this mukti, unless it's in relationship to the Supreme Lord in service, it's not to take. And devotees of the Lord never aspire for spiritual mukti. End of. There's different types of mukti, and devotees of the Lord do not aspire for mukti in itself. They aspire to serve the Vaishnavas of the Lord. Instead of the residents of Vrindavan, Lord Chaitanya has come to give us both paths of bhakti, Panchavartika and by its practice, can then attain Rajabhakti. Lord Chaitanya very quoted this verse, where Lord Chaitanya is instructing the Panchanga Bhakti, want you to associate with the devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Bhagavad, reside in Mathura, and worship the deity, which is Panchanga. So Lord Chaitanya mentions these two as important practices of the practitioners. And by its practice, we can associate with like association with devotees, we hear the pastimes of the Lord. By that hearing the pastimes of the Lord, we hear the sermons of the Lord with love. And we can become attracted to a particular service. And Lord Chaitanya continues on to say that different types of devotees, some are servants, some are friends, some are parents, and some are unfulfilled lovers. Devotees who are situated in one of these attitudes of love according to their choice are considered to be in the path of loving service. And then to end off, it's a nice description when Krishna enters the arena. When Krishna enters the arena with his elder brother Balaram, the wrestlers saw Krishna as the lightning bolt, men of Mathura as the best of males, the woman is Cupid in person, the coward men as the ruler, the impious rulers as the chastised, his parents as their friend, the king of the birds as their the unintelligent as supreme lords of the universe form, the yogis as absolute truth, and Christians as the supreme worship. So already there's a few verses I've already quoted, which that we can meditate on the Lord, worship the Lord in a particular mood, in a particular way, and by that surrender in a particular mood, in a particular path, we get different results. Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita here, non-prabhatam. As all surrender unto me, I will rule them accordingly. So we worship the Lord to attain mukti, which is to attain liberation of this material world, to attain, to relieve us of the suffering from material Krishna, that will reward you accordingly. To surrender in such a way to reward you. As Paul always agreed, surrender as in following one of the ways of practice, Krishna will reward according to one's desire. And to establish this fact, quote Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, Text 11. But my Lord, the devotees can see you through the years of the process on the path forward. And thus they pass different commandments and take the sequel. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in a particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always meditate. So Lord manifests himself in a particular form. As followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he instructs us to follow Sri Krishna. No one else. Other Vaishnavas worship the Lord with awe and reverence, and thus they meditate in Narayan. But here we can see that by meditating in the form of Shishira Krishna, they'll manifest in the heart. The importance of meditating on a particular form of the Lord, and the importance of meditating on a particular mood of service, hopefully not out of enmity or out of fear. Krishna, in the quote of one of the verses of Gita, Krishna mentions that he sends all the demons into perpetual repeated birth and death. And the quote Krishna Prabhu writes that if the demon, and the question that he raised, Krishna's all merciful, and he's merciful, so how can we pass on to repeated birth and death? And then Prabhupada writes that Krishna in these different forms of the demon becomes a powerful Krishna become a killer. And thus he's giving them mukti for a joke. that's why I prepared. And hope it wasn't too strenuous to follow my thought pattern, and please forgive my constant reference to Shastra, to quote. That's how I appreciate classes, I appreciate material quotes from Shastra as the Brahman, and I try to follow that step. So anything I try to say, I try to back it up with a reference, otherwise it just be my concoction. So I'm trying to do that. So before we end, please request the audience to please instruct me on ways to improve. And yeah, so I can serve better.
Being class next time they ask me, say yes. Thank you so much for this class. Hare Krishna.
Any corrections? How can I improve? There's ways to improve.
keep going, it's great. Yeah, nice thing. Thank you for quotes. Nice references and following this. It's very nice. Thank you very much for that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu,